The house was screaming. That's what it felt like. Not a literal scream, but a silent, deafening roar of perfection. White lilies in crystal vases on every mahogany surface. Caterers moving like ghosts in the hallways, carrying silver trays of canapes that cost more than my first car. The hum of industrial vacuums 3 rooms away. It was 48 hours before the wedding, and the estate in the Hamptons was breathing, alive with the anticipation of the biggest event of the season. I stood in the guest bedroom that had been assigned to me for the week. It was larger than the entire apartment I grew up in. The wallpaper was hand-painted silk. The bed was a 4-poster monstrosity that looked like it had swallowed lesser men. I was staring at my reflection in the full-length mirror, but I wasn't really seeing myself. I was seeing the tuxedo hanging on the door. It was custom-made Italian wool, a gift from Eleanor. Everything here was a gift from Eleanor. The suit. The watch on my wrist. The career I had. The life I was living. Isabella burst into the room, a whirlwind of chiffon and excitement. She was glowing, literally glowing. She had just come from her final facial, and her skin looked like porcelain. She threw her arms around my neck, smelling of lavender and expensive champagne. "Can you believe it, Maya?" she squealed, pulling back to look at me. Her eyes were wide, sparkling with that innocent, unshakable belief that the world was good. 2 days. Just 2 days and we're Mrs. and Mrs. Sterling. I'm going to be your wife. I forced a smile. It was a muscle memory by now. "I can't believe it," I said. My voice sounded hollow to my own ears, but Isabella didn't notice. She never noticed. She was too happy, too wrapped up in the fairy tale. "Mom is driving the florists crazy downstairs," she laughed, falling back onto the bed. "She says the hydrangeas aren't the right shade of blue. Can you imagine? Who cares about the hydrangeas? I just want to marry you." I sat down next to her, taking her hand. Her skin was soft, uncalloused. My hands still had the faint, rough memory of years working in a diner to pay for textbooks before I met her. Before Eleanor paid off my loans, before everything became easy. "Isabella," I started, but the words died in my throat. What was I going to say? "Isabella, I think I'm making a mistake." "Isabella, I feel like an imposter in my own life." "Isabella, I love you, but I don't think I'm in love with you." "What is it, baby?" she asked, squeezing my hand. "Are you nervous? Don't be. Everyone loves you. Dad loves you. My friends love you. Mom, well, Mom is Mom, but she adores you. She's the one who pushed for the partnership at the firm, remember?" I remembered. I remembered everything. "I'm just tired," I lied. "It's been a long week." "I know," she soothed, stroking my hair. "But it'll be over soon. And then it's just us. Fiji. 2 weeks. No parents, no work. Just us." She leaned in and kissed me. It was sweet, tender. A kiss from someone who trusted me completely. And as she kissed me, I felt that familiar, cold stone in my stomach. The guilt. It was heavy, immovable. I kissed her back, because that's what a good fiancé does. That's what someone who owes everything to this family does. Isabella bounced up a moment later, checking her phone. "Crap, the makeup artist is here for the trial run. I have to go. I love you, Maya, so much." "I love you too," I said. The words came out automatically. She ran out, leaving the door open. I could hear the chaos downstairs, the laughter, the clinking of glass, the orders being barked by the wedding planner. I walked to the door to close it to shut out the noise, but I stopped. Eleanor was standing in the hallway. She was 10 feet away, instructing a maid on how to fold the napkins. She wore a structured blazer that probably cost $5,000, and her silver hair was pulled back in a severe, elegant chignon. She looked like a queen surveying her kingdom. She turned and saw me. Her eyes, ice blue and sharp as diamonds, locked onto mine. She didn't smile. She didn't wave. She just looked at me. It was a look I knew well. It was the look of an appraiser examining an investment. "Maya," she said, her voice cool and carrying effortlessly down the hall. "A word, please, in the library." It wasn't a request. I followed her. The library was my favorite room in the house. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a fireplace large enough to roast a pig, and the smell of old paper and leather. It was quiet here. Eleanor walked to the wet bar and poured 2 fingers of scotch into a crystal glass. She didn't offer me any. She took a sip, turned, and leaned against the mahogany desk, crossing her arms. "The dress fitting is in an hour," she said. "For the final alterations. Are you ready?" "Yes, Eleanor," I said. I stood with my hands clasped behind my back, like a schoolgirl called to the principal's office. "I'm ready." "Isabella is over the moon," Eleanor continued, watching me over the rim of her glass. "She's been planning this wedding since she was 6 years old. Did you know that? She used to make her Barbie dolls get married. Ken was always the groom, but sometimes she'd marry Barbie to Barbie. She was always ahead of her time." I managed a weak chuckle. "She's very excited." "She is," Eleanor agreed. "She's happy. That's all I've ever wanted, for her to be happy." She paused, and the silence stretched, thin and tight. "She's fragile, you know, my daughter. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She trusts blindly. It's her best quality and her most dangerous one." "I know," I said. "I would never hurt her, Eleanor. You know that." Eleanor took another sip of scotch. "Do I?" My heart stuttered. "Excuse me? Do I know that?" She set the glass down on the desk with a sharp clink. "You're a good girl, Maya. You work hard. You're smart. You've done very well at the firm. You've adapted to our world remarkably fast. You know which fork to use. You know how to talk to senators and CEOs. You've become one of us." I've tried my best," I stammered. "And we've helped you," she said, her voice dropping an octave. "We paid off your student loans. We got your mother that specialist for her hip surgery. We put the down payment on the loft in Tribeca. We gave you a life most people would kill for." I felt the heat rising in my cheeks. This was the transaction. The ledger. She was listing the debts. "I am incredibly grateful, Eleanor," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "I know how much you've done for me. I never take it for granted." "Gratitude," Eleanor mused, testing the word like it was a bad wine. "Gratitude is a powerful motivator. It can make people do things they wouldn't normally do. It can make them stay in jobs they hate. It can make them loyal to people they don't respect." She took a step closer to me. "It can make them marry people they don't love." The air left the room. I stared at her, my mouth slightly open. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced my chest. "Eleanor, I love Isabella." "Do you?" She didn't blink. "Or do you love the safety? Do you love the fact that you never have to worry about rent again? Do you love that you're Maya, the partner at the law firm now, not Maya, the scholarship kid from Queens?" "That's not fair," I whispered. "Life isn't fair, Maya. You know that better than anyone." She walked around the desk and opened a drawer. She pulled out a checkbook. My stomach dropped. "What are you doing?" "I'm making sure," she said. She uncapped a fountain pen. "I'm going to write a check. A large one. Enough for you to start over. Anywhere you want. London, Tokyo. You can open your own firm. You can buy a house for your mother. You can be free." She wrote quickly, her hand steady. She ripped the check out and placed it on the desk, face down. "This is for you," she said. "If you leave, right now. You pack your bag, you drive away, and you never call Isabella again. You tell her you got cold feet. You tell her you're not ready. You take the blame, and you take the money." I looked at the piece of paper on the desk. It was a lifeline. It was an escape hatch. "I can't do that," I said, shaking my head. "I can't hurt her like that." "But you can hurt her by marrying her when you don't love her," Eleanor shot back. Her voice was like a whip. "You think that's noble? Sacrificing yourself on the altar of gratitude? You think you're being a martyr? You're being a coward." "I love her," I insisted, but my voice lacked conviction. It sounded like a plea. Eleanor picked up the check. She looked at it, then looked at me. "Okay, let's try a different test." She tore the check in half. The sound of the ripping paper was loud in the quiet room. She dropped the pieces into the trash can. "I'll write another one. she said. She pulled the checkbook back. This one is for you to stay. I blinked, confused. What? I will write you a check for $5 million, Eleanor said calmly. Right now, it's yours. A wedding gift. But there's a condition. She leaned forward, her hands flat on the desk. You have to look me in the eye, right now, and swear on your mother's life that you are passionately, madly, undeniably in love with my daughter. Not that she's sweet, not that she's a good partner, not that you care about her, that you burn for her, that you cannot imagine a single day on this earth without her breath next to yours. Swear it. The room went silent. $5 million. It was a number I couldn't even comprehend. But the condition, I looked into Eleanor's eyes. I thought about Isabella. I thought about her laugh. I thought about how she looked when she slept. I thought about the feeling of safety she gave me. I thought about the debt I owed, and I opened my mouth to say I swear. But the words didn't come. I hesitated. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. The silence stretched. It grew heavy. It filled the space between us like a physical wall. I could hear the clock ticking on the mantel. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I saw Isabella's face in my mind, but I didn't feel fire. I felt heavy. I felt tired. I felt like I was acting in a play that never ended. I looked at Eleanor. Her expression hadn't changed, but her eyes had softened, just a fraction. It wasn't pity. It was resignation. You hesitated, she said softly. I closed my mouth. I looked down at my shoes. Shame, hot and burning, flooded my veins. Eleanor, You hesitated, she repeated. That's my answer. She closed the checkbook. She capped the pen. She didn't write anything. I care about her, Eleanor, I choked out. Tears pricked my eyes. I do. She's my best friend. I owe you everything. I owe her everything. You don't owe anyone your life, Maya, Eleanor said. Her voice was different now. It wasn't the voice of the scary matriarch. It was the voice of a mother. And you certainly don't owe my daughter a fake marriage. That isn't a gift. That's a prison. For both of you. She walked around the desk and stood in front of me. She was shorter than me, but she felt taller. You love the safety, she stated. It wasn't an accusation anymore. It was a fact. You love the life we gave you. And that's understandable. You came from nothing. You were hungry. We fed you. It's natural to want to stay at the table. I'm sorry, I whispered. A tear escaped and rolled down my cheek. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry for wanting security, she said. But be sorry if you steal my daughter's chance at real love because you're too afraid to be poor again. She reached out and adjusted the lapel of my blazer. It was a motherly gesture, intimate and terrifying. She deserves to be looked at the way I looked at her father, Eleanor said quietly. She deserves to be someone's fire, not their safety net. And you deserve to find out who you are when you aren't trying to pay back a debt that doesn't exist. I don't know how to leave, I confessed. My voice broke. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anything. You have yourself, Eleanor said. You have your degree. You have your talent. You have your mind. We paid for the education, Maya, but you did the work. You earned that partnership. You're a brilliant lawyer. You'll be fine. She'll hate me, I sobbed. Isabella will hate me. Yes, Eleanor said simply. She will. She will hate you. She will cry. She will be devastated. She will ask why. And you will be the villain. She looked me dead in the eye. You have to be the villain, Maya. That is the last debt you owe us. You have to break her heart now, cleanly, so you don't break her spirit slowly over the next 20 years. You have to be the bad guy so she can eventually find the right guy, or girl. I can't tell her the truth, I said. I can't tell her I only love the safety. No, Eleanor agreed. You can't. That would destroy her self-esteem. You will tell her you're not ready. You will tell her you're scared. You will tell her you need to find yourself. You will make it about you. You will take the hit. I nodded, wiping my face. The reality of what was happening was crashing down on me. The wedding was off. The life was over. The safety was gone. Go upstairs, Eleanor said. Pack your things. I'll call the driver. He'll take you to the city. I'll handle the guests. I'll handle the vendors. What about Isabella? I asked. I'll send her to you, Eleanor said. You'll do it here, in the garden, away from the house. Give her that dignity. Thank you, Eleanor, I whispered. Don't thank me, she said, turning back to her desk. Her voice was cold again. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for her. Now go, before I change my mind and destroy you. I ran upstairs. Packing was a blur. I didn't take everything. I left the watch. I left the cufflinks. I left the expensive leather weekender bag Eleanor had given me last Christmas. I took my old canvas duffel. I took my jeans. I took my t-shirts. I took the framed photo of my mom. I stood in the middle of the room one last time. It looked undisturbed, like I had never been there. I went down to the garden. The sun was setting, casting long golden shadows across the meticulously manicured lawn. The white tent for the reception was already up, flapping gently in the breeze. It looked like a ghost ship. Isabella came running out of the house 10 minutes later. Eleanor must have told her I wanted to see her. She looked worried. Maya? She called out, spotting me by the fountain. Mom said you were leaving? What's going on? Is it a work emergency? She stopped when she saw my face. She saw the red eyes. She saw the duffel bag at my feet. Maya? She whispered. Her hands went to her mouth. I can't do it, Bella, I said. The words tore out of my throat like jagged glass. Can't do what? She asked, her voice trembling. The rehearsal dinner? It's okay. We can skip it. If you're sick, we can... I can't marry you, I said. The silence that followed was worse than the screaming house. It was the silence of a world ending. Isabella took a step back, as if I had slapped her. What? I'm sorry, I said. I'm so sorry. But I can't. I'm not the right person for you. What are you talking about? She started to cry, immediate hysterical tears. We're getting married in 2 days. Everything is ready. I love you. You love me. I can't, I repeated. I stuck to the script Eleanor gave me. I'm messed up, Bella. I'm scared. I don't know who I am outside of this, outside of us. I need to be alone. I need to figure things out. We can figure them out together, she pleaded, reaching for me. That's what marriage is. Maya, please, don't do this. She grabbed my arm. Her grip was desperate. Is it someone else? Is there someone else? No, I said quickly. No, never. It's just me. It's all me. Then we can fix it, she screamed. If it's just nerves, we can fix it. Mom can help. We can postpone. We don't have to cancel. Please, Maya, don't leave me. Looking at her breaking apart in front of me was the hardest thing I had ever done. Every instinct in my body screamed to hug her, to say I was joking, to fix it, to go back to the safety. But then I saw Eleanor watching us from the library window. She was a silhouette against the light, watching, waiting to see if I would fold. I hesitated in the library. I wouldn't hesitate now. I gently pulled my arm from her grip. I'm sorry, Isabella, I said firmly. I have to go. No, she wailed, falling to her knees on the grass. Maya, no! I picked up my bag. I turned around. I walked away. I walked past the white tent. I walked past the hydrangeas that were the wrong shade of blue. I walked past the catering vans unloading champagne. I walked to the driveway where the black town car was waiting. The driver, a man I had known for 5 years, didn't make eye contact as he opened the door. He knew. Everyone knew. I was the outcast now. The exile. I got in. The door closed with a heavy thud, sealing me in. As the car pulled away, I looked back one last time. Isabella was still on the grass, a puddle of grief. Eleanor had come out of the house. She wasn't hugging Isabella. She was standing over her, a sentinel. She was picking up the pieces just like she said she would. She looked at the car. She nodded once, a barely perceptible dip of her chin. Good girl, the nod said. You paid your debt. I turned forward. The gates of the estate opened, and we drove out onto the public road. The Hamptons receded in the rearview mirror. I reached into my pocket. My hand brushed against the velvet box. The engagement ring. I realized I still had it. I should have left it. I rolled down the window. The air rushed in, smelling of salt and pine. It wasn't the conditioned air of the mansion. It was real air. I looked at the ring. It was a family heirloom. It was worth more than my mother's life. I thought about keeping it, selling it. It would be a cushion, a safety net. Then I thought about the check in the trash can. I threw the ring out the window. It disappeared into the tall grass on the side of the road. Gone. I leaned back in the seat. I had no job, no fiancé, no apartment, no money. I was 29 years old and I had absolutely nothing. I took a deep breath. My lungs filled completely for the first time in 4 years. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. I was free.